Because as a child of Harlem, you know, we're in the middle of the financial media, all that world, and you know, in the middle of Manhattan. And we had a long run, and we did some good stuff. You're one of the greatest congressmen that ever lived, Adam K. Powell Jr. We had our renaissance for many, many decades. We worked our thing, we did our thing, but when I look now and see y'all got Jay-Z, Beyonce, new arenas coming up, I'm just hopeful that in this new era for Brooklyn, that we take this opportunity to teach the other boroughs where black people live how it's supposed to be done. One of the things that I'm hopeful that we do get to in Brooklyn is to finally produce an AIDS-free generation. I have Brooklyn lead that way because it's time. It's time. And it doesn't seem like any of the other boroughs are going to get it completely together. So I'm glad that Brooklyn is here and Brooklyn is in the house. We've got a very interesting panel for you today. I want you to know that it's hot. I am Deborah Fraser House. I'm sorry. Many of you at this conference know me as the founder of the National Black Leadership Commission on AIDS, which I founded and ran for 21 years here in New York, with affiliates in 17 chapters across the country, all run by black clergy. Responsible for doing many things, the chief of which, one of the main things, was to develop organizationally and through legislative action, the Minority HIV/AIDS Initiative, which has brought in billions of dollars in new funding to communities of color to address HIV/AIDS in the United States of America. And I have been a friend of Reverend Al Sharpton's for over 40 years. I call him my little brother because I'm 5 years older. And I remember when Al was in his jumpsuits and his medallions, and he used to stand on the steps of City Hall when I was working at the Urban League. And I'd be, dressed up, walking up the stairs, going to meet with Koch or somebody. And he used to call us handkerchief head, sell out Negroes, all other kinds of things. This little chubby man with all his hair, he was messing with us like this. I mean, somebody needs to talk to him. I don't like this. And they go, don't pay that. That's just Al Sharpton. He messes with everybody. And one day I said, I need to talk to this brother and find out what he didn't like us. He used to call us the Bourbon League. He said we drank too much, had too many parties. He was right. When I sat down and actually had a conversation with him, we became best of friends. And we've been best of friends ever since. It was a bond because we had the same fire in the belly, the same spirit, the same desire to save our people in our community. And from that day on, I've been committed to not letting anybody hurt him. He, I, and Jesse Jackson were coming together from Chicago on a trip. And then we were out there speaking for Rainbow Push. And Jesse was coming back to the city with us. And when I call him Jesse now, because I'm older than all of them, not quite older than Jesse, I have to fix that. And we were on an escalator. And we were going down on the escalator, and 3 white men were coming up on the escalator, so we were passing each other. So one of them looked up and saw Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and said, "Oh, look at this," and said, "Al, I want to help you out. I want to get you a ticket." And he said, "Man, will you give me a ticket to where?" He said, "To wherever you want to go, free of charge. I'm going to pay." And he said, "Thank you very much, brother. That's very kind of you." He said, "I'm not being kind. I just want to get you a ticket one way." And Reverend Jackson looked at Al Sharpton and said, "You see that, man? You see how they mess with me?" He said, "Man, you should have took that ticket. We could have cashed that in and had dinner and had a good time." There's a reality for us as a people, as I was listening to Barack Obama last night laugh about the birthers and his birth certificate. He laughed so hard he almost couldn't finish his sentence. He had the ability to do that because he's home.
Yes.
Home is very important. We have to make this place safe for our children. And that includes them being disease-free when they come home. It's got to be all about the safety and sanctity of their neighborhoods and where they live. In my life, as the founder of Blacka, I've been on 2 President's Advisory Councils. I served both Bill Clinton throughout his term and Bush. Don't laugh. It was only for a little while, and I tried my best. Because when the revolution comes down, some of us got to stay and some of us got to go too. So I was trying to see how we could fix the Bush thing. It wasn't fixable under my tenure. But I'm telling you, I'm saying this to say to you that being entrenched in the White House like that allows you certain liberties. And it usually extends from administration to administration because, the people who are really working in the White House, they don't change. The presidents change, but most of them stay the same. When I go there now and talk to some of them and they tell me about the hate mail that Obama gets, it's so much that they have to send it to another building. We actually have groups that spend their time praying for the death of his children. This is war.
Yes.
And we need to not forget that. So I wrap all that up saying that it's war, but we got Brooklyn. Brooklyn's in the house. We got power. We got black people that have enormous power. And our leaders get enormous strength when they come home.
Yeah.
He laughed so hard last night. I haven't seen him laugh like that in a long time. He said, "Can you believe that?" He wanted to say that stupid something, and a bad word probably associated with it. But they messed with him bad. And that's what he was saying, family. They messing with me. Y'all know they messing with me. And now they trying to take away the right to vote, and I want y'all to not let that happen. And there's something else that he's been really in the forefront of, and that's developing this national strategy for HIV and AIDS. He does believe that we can get to an AIDS-free generation. He believes we can do it in our lifetime, and he knows whose kids are on the line. And the same way he got up and said that Trayvon Martin could have been his. He looks at these numbers and knows that kids that are getting infected, the young gay men that are getting infected, look like us. We can't afford to lose another brother or another sister to this epidemic. So I was supposed to start today with some statistics, but I don't want to give you those statistics. I wanted to have a family conversation with you. I think that I've earned the right to have a family conversation with you. Because I don't do nothing but wherever I go, fight for y'all to stay alive. Because you deserve it. There's nothing wrong with black people.
Amen.
Amen. Got a bunch of people here that's going to speak to you, and I know that Dr. Haynes has to get on a plane, so I'm going to introduce the panel in very short terms, is telling you who they are, a little bit maybe about what they're going to talk about, and then I'm going to let them get up and start moving. John Martin Green, CEO of the Gatekeepers Collective and Harlem Pride Board, on Harlem Pride's Board of Directors, is going to talk a little bit about, this is a good brother. I know him just because I'm stigma, you know, black homosexuality, how we still dealing with this. Like, we need to deal with it like we got some sense. And sometimes we don't. And what we need to do about this, somebody asked a question the other day about a preacher. I hope he's not in Harlem. Oh, please don't let him be in Brooklyn. Let him be
He's in Harlem.
A preacher that put something up and they said, well, Deborah, this preacher, what do you think of? I said, man, I can't even answer that. That was so far-fetched. That took me back to 1980. I couldn't even deal with that craziness. He don't want gay people. It's just, we got to deal with it. We got to deal with these things like we got some sense. Dr. Charles Haynes Jr. is the president of the National Action Network of Oakland, California. He is a senior pastor working on HIV and AIDS in the community and from a national perspective. This brother can also preach. I've heard him, he doesn't even know that. I want you to welcome him. He's going to talk to you about HIV, some of the taboos, and the positioning that the church needs to be in. The church does need to take a leadership role. We need to stop letting people tell us that the church shouldn't do it. The church definitely do it. You get me, if I got some disease and I don't know how to get rid of it, and the doctor don't know how to get rid of it, I know where I'm going. I'm going to God. He's in church. I know where everybody else God is, but I found mine about Abyssinian somewhere around 135th Street. Janet Weinberg, who's like a sister to me. She is the interim chief executive officer, the chief operating officer of the Gay Men's Health Crisis. There's girls running the Gay Men's Health Crisis.
That's right. That's right.
Janet is going to discuss with you some health disparities and talk about people that are over 35 and then the young people, and how we've got this gap, that there's a huge thing going on above us and below us that we need to be careful of. And we're not really watching the way that we need to watch. And we need to. Michael Camacho is the New York Regional Director of the AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I told Michael today, everywhere I've gone for the last 2 days, somebody from the AIDS Healthcare Foundation in San Francisco is getting an award from black people in New York. I love it. We're learning how to do this whole multicultural thing, and it's working. Because they're working, and they're working in our community, they're working on our behalf, and it's a good thing, because they've got some expertise that we need right now. We need to make friends with the people who can have these out of the closet thrift shops and learn how to create money in their own community so that they can give back to their own people and to our people, and that's a good thing. Dwayne Kramer, me and Dwayne hung out all night last night, but I don't have a hangover, I'm all right.
I don't drink alcohol.
Dwayne is a social marketing expert and a very, very famous photographer involved in lots and lots of various exhibitions where they, I'm in one of them for the Black AIDS Institute, where pictures were taken of me and Magic Johnson and some other folks, and they just take these pictures to cities and just leave them here. Dr. Benny Prim got his hands together, a doctor in prayer. So I want you to meet Dwayne and love him as much as I do. Last but not least, we're going to hear from one of my children, Maria Davis. And I'm going to come up here to tell you more about, that's right, clap for Maria. Somebody told me Maria don't have no name tag. She don't need no name tag. Maria. And she's going to close us out. I've asked each one of the speakers to make their statement and then to give us a recommendation, because